Economic process. The economic process is complicated, but its basic idea is simple. Producers and consumers exchange goods and services in a market. A market is an organized way for producers and consumers to trade goods and services. A store is a market. That's why it's called a supermarket. A farmer's market can still exchange goods for money. Often it's goods and services for money. Exchanging goods and services. Throughout history, people have often engaged in barter, the trading of goods and services for other goods and services. That would be a traditional economy back before we had money and currency and more organized governments. People would just trade what they needed and exchange goods for other goods. Today, the means of exchange in a market is usually money. Modern governments issue money in the form of currency or paper bills and metal coins. Different countries use different currencies and they have different values. As a result, countries must establish the relative values of their currencies in order to trade. They must also establish a system for exchanging different currencies. Businesses and the economic process. Businesses want to make a profit, extra money above the cost of making whatever good or providing whatever service they provide. So it has to be above the wages they pay their workers and the cost of any materials to make it together. Profit is the money a company has left after subtracting the cost of doing business, all of their business cost. They have to be able to pay for their utilities, their electric bills, whatever energy is needed to run their machines, and then the profit is the money above that cost. To make a profit, companies try to reduce expenses and increase revenue. Revenue is the money earned by selling goods and services. The price of resources affects revenue and profit. So revenue is all the money coming in. So if Target was open for 6 hours, whatever money is in the cash boxes that came into Target is the revenue. That doesn't mean it's profit because then they have to subtract how much they paid workers for that 6 hours, the utility bills for that 6 hours, all the other costs, the people that came and maybe stocked the shelves and delivered the goods to the store. Subtract all of that from the revenue, and whatever's left would be the profit. If resources become more expensive, the cost of making goods with them will also increase. Business profits will drop. So the price of resources affects revenue and profit. If resources become more expensive, the cost of making goods with them will also increase. Business profits will drop, and businesses don't want that. Companies can increase profit, the money they're making, and revenue through specialization. So instead of making everything, people specialize in making one product, and they can make a whole lot of them cheaper than if they had to have a bunch of different machines to make a whole bunch of different items. The act of concentrating on a limited number of goods or services, specialization allows people and companies to use resources more efficiently and to increase production and consumption. So that was Ford's idea of mass producing the Model T car with automated machines and the mass production. They were able to make a lot of cars and make them affordable, and it was cheaper. That was specialization, just focusing in on cars. Companies' profits are affected by competition, which is the struggle among producers for consumers' money. We want competition as consumers because it keeps prices lower. They have to compete with each other, offer deals, offer sales. If one company raises the price of its products, another company may sell similar goods for a lower price to win more business. Companies use advertising to help increase demand for their products and to compete with other companies. They try to convince with advertising that their product is better. Nonprofit organizations are businesses like institutions that do not seek to make a profit. They might be providing a service and they just want to do it at cost. Nonprofit organizations include churches. They're not allowed to make a profit. They're a nonprofit. Museums, hospitals, and other bodies. Education, schools are not for profit. We're providing a service, and any money that the school has goes back to the kids, to the people of the community for materials like Chromebooks. That's a nonprofit. A healthy economy grows companies as companies produce and sell more goods and services. In a growing economy, prices may increase over time. This general increase in prices over years is called inflation because people want to make more money, so your wages go up. Then the cost of that product that they're making in that factory needs to go up so that they can meet those wages and still make a profit. So gradual increase is called inflation. Economies do not keep growing forever. Eventually, economic activity falls as production slows and consumers buy fewer goods and services. This lack of demand for goods and services can lead to increased unemployment. A decline in economic growth for 6 or more months in a row is known as a recession. So a slow economic time is a recession. We go kind of like a roller coaster. You have some good economic times and then it naturally goes down. People get nervous spending a lot and then they start to save and they start to spend less. That's a normal kind of economic cycle that you see as you get older, going through many years. You see the fluctuation and that the economies get better. They sometimes go through harder times.